You're listening to Unspooled, the podcast where bad prints become learning experiences, eventually. Hosted by Corey from Moji 3D, who somehow has owned more printers than most people have owned filament, and Steve from Layer by Layer, who may or may not be running a small filament warehouse from home. Each week we dive into printing, projects, people, and the occasional rant. So load your build plate, hit print, and let's get unspooled.
All right, we should be live. Hopefully everybody can hear us and see us. Welcome, Matt. Matt, not the guy behind in the back room in the internet today. He is out there.
He's just hanging out.
Front,
he might disappear at any moment.
He may pop in, pop out. But we are an unscheduled, well, as of this morning or last night scheduled, an unscheduled, unscripted, again, always unscripted anyways, but it sounds good. Episode 48 of Unspooled. Special Saturday stream, making up for the one we missed Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Talking about 3D printing, 3D printers.
He's on the old schedule. He said Tuesday. Come on, man, get it together.
Oh, it's early. It's in the head. Wednesday. Yeah, I'm drinking cold coffee now because I forgot to refresh it before stream. So
gross. I don't even drink coffee, and that's gross.
Oh, I love coffee. I'll drink it cold or hot, doesn't matter. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. A lot that went on in the community. All good stuff, and we will get into it. But how are you doing, Steve? How are you doing, Matt? Well, I'll start with Steve.
Good, man.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Trying to refocus myself on 3D printing.
Yep.
And trying to stay more on a schedule.
Yeah.
For stuff.
For designing or just
design, more so for the designing.
Yeah.
I put out finally put out the cord organizer almost a year later, maybe 10 months later. So I figured if I don't put it out, I won't ever put it out. So I put the cord organizer out. Yeah. Working on some other stuff to put out, stuff that I've made for myself and was oh well, maybe somebody will like it. So working on those types of things. Just trying to stay, focused and yeah. It's something I like to do in general. So why not kind of regiment myself to doing it a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I with my ADHD brain, I have to kind of try to schedule my life. If not, I will just like squirrel go off into something else. So I feel you there.
Pretty much that is the case. It's I've never been diagnosed, but yeah. I my focus. I can focus on what I want to when I want to, but a lot of times it's just I'm all over the place. It doesn't help that when you got tons of other outside stuff going on as well, especially with hosting the live music shows and stuff like that.
Well, when you're in additive manufacturing too, you can make basically anything you want, right? So exactly. It adds to that
oh my gosh,
now that I can make anything I want to make everything, right? I want to make one of everything, two of everything.
It also doesn't help having as many colors as we usually have. Yeah. Just now I figured out what I want to make. What color do I want to make? I got the Yeet Hammer kit that I want to make. I still haven't made it. Death Racer still haven't made it.
Speaking of one of everything, Matt, Brady Bunch underneath. Matt's going on I think we've been having this weird thing with Twitch where the cameras, or with StreamYard, that the cameras are randomly freezing amongst all three of us in a round robin. But so speaking of one of everything, Matt's been on this tear lately of going through the entire used 3D printer market on the West Coast and trying to obtain one of everything. So if you guys aren't familiar with GTR Dad or Matt, you probably are, but if you aren't, he's at 60 printers now, something, I don't even know. But
technically we're at 52 because I did sell some, but I also bought another half dozen.
Yeah,
with intentions of I got told I can buy another 12 from the guy that I bought last weekend.
Yeah.
So my wife loves me because the garage is full of printers, the spare bedroom is full of printers, there's printers on the floor, there's printers on my shelf. There's pieces of printers all over my office, and I got 2 bins full of parts. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Wexter's here. How you doing, Wexter? Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about because I've been there too. I've been somewhere between 14 and 60 printers at some point, at almost every point. But you get them, rehab them, keep what you want, and then sell and move on. So it's kind of like a rehab project / business for you, which is good, right? Because what you like to do and you benefit other people. So if anybody doesn't know, you recently just got a printer that you rehabbed and then are going to be giving it to a school, right?
I did. I gave my daughter's Girls Who Code Club a Ender 3 Max.
Yeah,
nice.
And did a little bit of random upgrades. I love Enders. They are like, everybody should have to get an Ender 3 to start learning 3D printing. I
mean, they're easy to take apart and put back together.
Yeah, like you'll
for some,
all of the stuff.
Yeah, some people, they drive you nuts and then drive you out of the thing. But yes, I do agree with you. I think and again, I think we're old school 3D printing, right? Where we were forced to do that, so we now tend to think that everybody should do that. And I agree. I think in order for you to learn additive manufacturing and 3D printing, you do have to do that. You have to be forced to learn everything about it in order to just get a good print or to upgrade a machine or anything. Now, I don't think that everybody should have to do that, but I would like to see everybody.
It depends on like if you're in it to like just sell prints and make money, you might want to know how printers work. If you're in it to just print, you might want to know how printers work. But really it is up to that that person. But I will say knowing how they work is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's that thing between like a tool and a hobby, right? Like some people it's a hobby that you want to learn everything about. Some people you just want to print it and never deal with it. And if something breaks, either replace it or have the company help you fix it.
Well, I think the cool part about it is you like with the Ender 3, the 3s, you built a machine that lets you build whatever you want to build. So it was like it was like super meta. It was like, oh, I built this machine and now I can use this machine to make other stuff. So that's what,
right? That's where it all came from.
3D print a 3D printer using your 3D printer.
Yeah, I mean, it's the basis of RepRap. It's the reason why we have everything we have now, is because some guy named Adrian Boyer and a series of other people back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s came up with this ridiculous idea that we all love. So
now, real quick, I saw you say something on Kick earlier, but I don't see Kick in the list. Is it still up or no?
Yeah, should be.
Okay.
Yep.
And okay.
The redheaded stepchild of streaming services. Yeah, it's up.
Okay. Oh no, this is just showing the live viewers. I guess no.
To be honest, I don't even know. I'm not even looking at it.
We're on Kick. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm going back to what I said before. How are you on 3 places?
I'm on every one of them.
No, I'm talking about Corey. How's he broadcasting? Or because you're the owner, it lets you do 3.
I have no idea.
Because it only lets me do 2. That's why I was at.
Does it?
Like, how in the heck are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into that. I just assumed anybody who was in it could broadcast them any. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. Maybe there's like a setting or something. But
it says as a guest you can add up to 2. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So because if that's the case, we should probably do TikTok.
Yeah, well, TikTok's weird though. It's sometimes you
gotta use
you have to meet like a certain criteria there before they'll let you stream live through the TikTok Live Studio.
I can stream live. I just haven't done it because I think you got to use their studio app, which we got to.
You have to use the TikTok Live Studio.
We can talk about that later.
That's producer stuff.
Producer stuff. Yeah.
Before we get into like the nitty gritty of everything that went on this week,
we can talk about
is there anything specific that's new that you guys want to talk about?
So David Tobin had his shoe contest. I think it's like the entries are over now. It was a fast contest though.
We got two David Tobin topics to talk about. So one, the shoe.
Oh yeah, true.
And then two, he's been in the California legal system fighting these ridiculous laws about, using software and firmware to control what you've been printing. You've all been seeing it's all driven by the home gun manufacturer scene. But anyways.
So we're gonna talk about it.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah. I mean, we might as well, right? I know, but it's so much more important than about the shoes. The shoes are great, but go look at the shoes if you want to look at the shoes, and they're neat.
It's not that much more important than the shoes.
Look, I can go from Walmart flip-flops now to 3D printed TPU flip-flops.
But
that's important.
Genre from Egypt developed 3D printed sloffies like 7 years ago. It's not new, right? It's not new.
You went from like we were gonna ramp up to like the hard topics. We
mentioned the shoes. Go look at the shoes. Now let's talk about the.
I'm not talking about it. I don't have anything to say.
It's important to look at, right? I think it's the most important topic that we have in 3D printing right now. So Joel telling 3D printing nerds got a big video out about it, but basically they were successful in dismantling the law in California that was going to require or was going to attempt to require, which we all know the current tech isn't capable of doing, but basically he was instrumental with a bunch of other people in getting that law dismantled, right? And that's important because if it gets dismantled there, it will get dismantled hopefully everywhere. Washington, New York, Colorado, wherever else they're trying to do this. So I don't want to get into the nitty gritty about it, but everybody should be aware of it. And if you're not aware of it, follow David Tobin and Joel and make sure it doesn't happen in your state. So now talk about the sandals.
So about the shoes, man, it's pretty cool. Like he had a contest where with via things where you could design a shoe sole for his
I saw Tech Jeepers.
Yeah, Tech Jeeper did. I had started and totally forgot about it. I think it ended yesterday. But it was pretty cool. Like you think about it, if you could 3D print, I mean you could be a part of something pretty cool and design the soles of a shoe, or maybe even eventually design a shoe if your sole is like freaking sweet. Hold on, I was trying to bring it up.
It's through Thangs, but ultimately it's for his D7, right? Through Zellerfield that is making
Zellerfeld,
Zellerfeld, that's making that. So, but yeah,
this is some things is Medium page, but it says take a step in a new direction, design a tread for the D7 3D printed shoe. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I do believe, excuse me, that the contest is over. Actually, it started back in April, which I thought it was something like over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But you could design your own sole. So a bunch of people participated. Let's see. I was trying to find the things page for it.
And let me reiterate, it is cool. Actually, it's just not cooler than dismantling a law. All right, I'm done.
I don't know, Sandals.
I'm about to be pissed off. All right, you about to get them. It's Saturday morning.
Fat guys everywhere.
Enough coffee.
Yeah, fat guys everywhere are worried.
I saw Tech Cheapers. His was pretty cool. I saw Zombie had like his like mountain.
You actually have until the 17th. It says on his page. So you have until the 17th. So there's still time to design your shoe sole if you want. Here's his, and then there's a couple. Here's Zombies right here.
Oh, there's Zombies. Yeah.
Designs.
So other than Tech Cheaper and Zombie, who else that is kind of in the circle of our people? Have done one?
Layers with Lily designed like a template tool. Who is this one? This Mad Scientist. He's designed a couple soles. That's Layers with Lily's soles right there. Let's see. I just clicked on the zombie. Oh, it's up here. Okay, there you go. There's Zombies right there. He actually printed his out too. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I get like designer's block, and I'm like too many ideas and not enough time. And then and it's like always trying to like make something that like, oh, this would be really cool, and then just never make anything.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like if I design one, I'll design 20, and then it will encompass my entire month.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of avoiding it and just vicariously living through Zombie and Tech Cheaper and other people that design one.
I had one idea. I don't care if anyone steals it, but I was thinking like a bunch of tiny balls, but like varying sizes and varying depths. So you kind of use it as you get like some kind of grip action with it.
Talk about the different size balls.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean, aren't most balls different sizes?
Balls, medium balls.
I got 2 balls in here that are 2 totally different sizes, man. That's crazy.
Wexter, Adam, Bald and Cauldron. Thanks for the bits, guys. And
and Yudo's here. Jeff Prince.
Thanks, guys, for the subscriptions.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And Yudo is wondering where all the cool shoes go, right? So I have owned 3 pairs of the Adidas, like the carbon sole printed shoes. Love them. I've printed Crocs. I've printed my own Crocs, and they're fine. I'd eventually like to use like some Peba or some of like the newer filament to reprint them in something that is a little bit better and more comfortable.
There's Tech Jeepers.
I like those. That's a cool. That's probably my favorite one.
It needs something right here and right here so that you don't bust your tail. Like continue the zigzags across for the extra grip, because you hit a linoleum floor or something, or a pool floor, and that thing is gonna right up.
We missed the mark though. We missed the mark. We should have had unspooled soles made. We could have had our first merch.
He's got kind of the unspooling of the filament background going there. Right. So I mean, I wear like worn out flat ass Crocs that I could die on at any moment. So I'm not saying anything.
Have you ever seen anybody slip on a pair of Crocs?
I have. I've gone right off my deck before. So yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I still continue to wear them. And I'm wearing them as we speak. And I would show you the bottom of the soles, but I'm a little bit ashamed at how worn out they are. So you're not seeing them, but yeah, it's super cool. I would like to. So the idea behind this contest, though, is they're going to pick 1 or 2 or 3 to actually be a shoe's sole.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess so. So there's
now is it just based off the things contest, like whoever gets the most?
I hope
wins,
not.
Or
hopefully things have learned their lesson from that whole thing.
So I mean, I would hope that David himself is going to look at all these and be like, I like this one, and it's going to be on the bottom of our shoe, because it can't just be like cool. It's got to be functional too, right? Like
exactly.
It's got to make you not die off your deck. Like my
imagine if you design a shoe sole and it like actually gets someone killed. You'd be like, holy crap.
Oh,
I mean, that's like the ongoing thing with any product, right? Like if you make a product, your sole hope is that it never kills anybody at some point, right? Like
but imagine that you're like, they had to recall the shoes because the soles are just too slippery.
First
or
3D printed Crocs that killed somebody.
Right? Yeah. Oh my gosh! Good luck, Tech Jeeper.
Out of the first 200 pairs sold, 14 people die.
So Zombie said it's 1 random pick and 1 David pick. Okay.
Random though, like how random? Like 100 people make a sole and they just pull one out of a hat. Like what if it's got a penis on the sole, right? Like it can't. It
have to be a secret penis, right?
Randoms are random.
Yeah, like it can't be random. I mean, it's just going to be like everybody who submitted one. They're just going to pick one.
Look what Yudo said, walking across with Tokyo with bear prints, because bro, they had a bear problem last summer. So yeah, that was.
They had a bear problem.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Oh, is that? Oh, dude, that's crazy.
There's another one. Oh, I was just looking it up because I'll be in Japan at the end of the month, and
I mean the wild thing is so you're going to Japan at the end of this month, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Jerf by like 4 days.
Yeah.
Dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But yeah, that's tough. But maybe next year, all 3 of us can get there.
Yeah, I know, right? I've been trying to get my son mentally ready because he'll be a senior was like, hopefully when they have it, it'll be after you graduate, and you might be able to go or something.
Yeah, my son and I. That's both of our like bucket list places to visit is Japan. Like, it's like I don't really. Yeah, I like to travel, but I don't really care to go anywhere else except for there first. That's like my one place I want to go. But it's also one of the hardest places for me to get to because it's literally on the other side of the planet for me. like Matt being on like the West Coast is at least, you know, an 8 hour flight.
Yeah. But for us, it's a grip.
Well, yeah, you know, you're the same thing. I think I looked it up, and I think it's like a 17-hour flight, which is no big deal. But it's the fact that from where I am, it's just inexpensive.
Yeah. But you it's crazy.
Yeah, so
it is crazy.
But I will get there someday.
It's funny because he said the bear prints, and I thought about like reverse the treads, so make it look like a smaller foot, but it's going in the other direction. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually seen the bear thing in Japan, and when I saw it, I for a minute there, I didn't think it was real because never in my life did I ever think that Japan, one, I didn't even know they had bears, and two, I didn't know they'd have a bear problem. Like, is it like I mean, he probably knows. Is it a protected species there that they overprotected and now it's an issue, or was it just like, oh crap, one Monday morning we have bears in all the cities? Like,
I don't know if it's a protected thing or not. I never even actually looked into it.
Yeah, it could have been imported. That's what happened to to kill fish or something, and they're like, oh, it's too many bears. There's too many of them. Yeah.
There was a tuna problem, so they imported bears.
There's a tuna problem, so they imported bears.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like bears don't necessarily want to bother humans, right? But if you put any apex predator and it becomes overpopulated and they become used to people and no longer afraid of them, then bad things are going to happen, right? Like things are going to go. But and then what do you gotta I guess hunt them, right, to kind of reduce the population. But
I also heard that like San Francisco has a terrible bear problem. They're like everywhere there.
Really? Yeah. I mean, we have crap tons of bears, but we also have a billions of acres of woods that for them to chill out in, so they don't come out into the cities. But
different kinds of bears.
What?
Reading Polymorph's message.
It went over your heads for a second.
I didn't see it yet.
I know because I said San Francisco has a bear problem as well.
Oh, jeez, them crow. All right, we're moving on from that one.
Real quick. So the next thing I wanted to show was this. This is pretty cool. Did you see Unitree has made like friggin' mechs now? I don't know if it's going to show the video. They have like mechs now. It's probably going to be laggy as heck. Listen. As 3D printing people,
so friggin' top heavy.
As 3D printing people, this is us, man. Like all of these robots, you got to make sure that they make these things where we can like slap pieces onto them. I was like, because this is our time to shine when you can like design like parts for a robot. Come on, man. I saw this and I immediately was like,
I'll get in one of those mechs and hunt bears in Japan for free.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Yudo, get on that. You find someone that can buy me one of these suits, and I will. I'll come to Japan. It'll be my trip to Japan, and I'll solve your bear problem.
The thing that's funny about this is like I don't think he's even controlling. I think he's literally just a passenger in this thing. I didn't see any kind of like.
It would be so bad.
It's just look.
But see, that's not impressive.
Watch this. Look at this. Look at this. Boom.
I mean, that's impressive. But that block wall, that wasn't even like cemented. A child could have pushed that
stacked
over.
Up.
Yeah. This is cool though with the walking backwards. So I'm like,
that looks creepy though. That's like horror. That's like the thing of horror movies.
This is how it starts. Cybernet.
This is for us,
RoboCop.
Man.
Yeah.
3D printed parts for robots. Yes, I'm all in. I'm all in on it.
I have the funny thing is I have like a Cyberdyne t-shirt, from like Transformers. And you're right, Matt. Like, right? Like this is AI, mechs, robots. Like this is Arc Raiders. This is the start of Arc Raiders right here.
Look, somebody already. Look at that.
Almost there. You know what? It looks like the one from RoboCop, Matrix. Right? Remember the big one from RoboCop? That one there.
From RoboCop, or even the Aliens.
Yeah.
The old robot.
Yep.
See, I went straight Mifune from the Matrix. There you go. There's aliens right there.
Go.
Look, and here's Mifune. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for this, for the Mifune robots.
But the whole robotic mech exoskeleton thing, like it's been a thing for years, right?
Yeah.
Like decades, people have been trying to work on it. Like I'm pretty sure, I think the Hacksmith is doing one right now, right?
No goodness. Did you see that?
So yeah, it's yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's. I mean, the issue is though it's like the liability, right? Like who actually does it for real, and then puts it out there, and then forget Slippy Shoes. Who sells the first mech or exoskeleton thing that literally crushes its rider? Like it's.
Listen, you don't think people will sign up for it? Listen, I will still go to Jurassic.
I
will go to Jurassic Park tomorrow if they tell me there's reincarnated dinosaurs there, and we've seen the movies. All right, I will sign up tomorrow. Me and my wife both talked about this. I was like, listen. I was like, what if they actually open Jurassic Park? Would you go? She's like, yes. I was like, even including the movies that you've seen?
Yes,
she's like, yes. I'm like, in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, who knows?
I'd go.
You'd voluntarily go stand up against Tyrannosaurus. I'm worried about you, Steve.
Listen.
I'm gonna go ride a T-Rex.
How good of a story would it be if you escaped like that, number one? If the dinosaurs got out and then you actually made it off the island. That's the best story ever.
I mean, no matter what, it's going to be a story, right? Man gets eaten by T-Rex.
Exactly, bro.
So either way, you're famous.
Exactly. So. I ain't even about the fame, it's about the story. Okay.
It's a win-win.
Like, yeah, dang, I heard your dad died. You're like, oh yeah, he was eaten by a T-Rex. Like, what?
I mean, it's a good way to go, right? Like,
where did he find a T-Rex? You're like,
I mean, if you can pick a way to go, that's kind of, you'd eat by a T-Rex.
We think he's dead, or he's inside of a T-Rex, one or the other.
My dad died from being eaten by a T-Rex. It was all owned by Elon Musk.
That's
the guy who's going to do it.
Probably would be, yeah. It'd either be Elon Musk, the Virgin guy, or Bezos. Like those are the three people that have the gumption and the backing to actually reconstitute a dinosaur.
Can you imagine they bring back dinosaurs, but they got like branding on them, like but it's like Tesla.
Yeah, marketing space, mobile billboards. Yeah.
By frozen Tyrannosaurus Rex and Triceratops.
We could get the Unspooled logo on the ass end of a T-Rex.
It had to be. It would have to be on the tail of the Brontosaurus because it's like unspooled.
There you go.
Yeah. So didn't they actually try to do the woolly mammoth thing though? And like a whole bunch of people, like there's like
they were gonna like put the DNA. They were gonna just kind of like start putting the DNA into like elephants. Trying to get like some 50% woolly mammoths or whatever, and then
there's like this whole organization that's like against it, right? Like don't mess with
PETA.
Yeah, like don't mess with genetics. No, but like don't mess with genetics, right? Don't try to recreate. There's a reason why they don't exist anymore, and I it's like
because we killed them.
But
that's why
at the same time, you reconstitute a woolly mammoth, and then next thing you know, like there's some like viral outbreak from it. It's like this. It's like the start of a like fantasy sci-fi horror movie, like a thriller.
Yeah, but life's so boring, man. We gotta roll the dice on something. All right,
life's so boring. We need T-Rexes. That's Steve.
If we had T-Rexes, there will be some country that will be serving them on the street food.
Yeah,
in a vendor, you can get little baby.
We
T-Rex
have gone off the rails.
It's Saturday morning. Saturday morning.
We went off the rails, drove down the mountain, ran over a bunch of Japanese bears, and are now out in the friggin'
Here we go.
Ocean.
You can start printing your T-Rex on the new Piopoly Giga 800. Boom! See, I bought it back
for a measly $15,000.
Yeah, measly.
Civic.
Okay,
measly.
But let's be fair, okay? So I heard this was all over Twitter yesterday about the price of it, right? An 800 millimeter cubed printer for $15,000, and everybody was like, "Whoa, that's wicked expensive." But if you look at the marketing on their website, they're running a large format pellet printer, right? This is pellet based, and they're saying that large format pellet printing that doesn't cost $100,000, right? So I'm familiar with large format pellet printing. but I'm not familiar with the cost of it, right? I've never purchased one. I've never been involved in the purchasing of something like that. So if something like this in the commercial space is typically around $100,000, if this is truly $15,000, that's a friggin' steal, right?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of look at it from that perspective, not just like, oh, I have a 400 by 400 rat rig or Voron or a 390 by 390 Cheaty. 15,000 is expensive for this. Well, yeah, but it's kind of not even in the realm of, it's not even in the same stratosphere, right? Like this.
No, your markets aren't the same. You're not gonna, like, I am never going to own a Piopoli 800 cubed printer because the hell am I going to put it in my garage?
Yeah, like you have to have a purpose for this, right? Like it's like, I'm going to spend $15,000 on this because I have a product that I can use to make. I can use this to make it, and 15,000 is nothing, right? I'm going to sell this product. Like, unless you're a very wealthy hobbyist or a content creator, you're probably never going to touch this machine, right? Now, Steve, you made a good point too. Is that, you know, the Magneto, that it was great, and it was novel. It was a new idea. It was something that nobody ever done, like maglev motors and all these cool things. And it's a beautifully constructed machine. But at $1,200, it never really took off, right? Like it never got to like a $1,200 X1C or even a Prusa Core One. It never got to that level, because to me, it always seemed like there was some odd issue with it, right? Like I know in the beginning they had problems like getting parts and sourcing parts and selling parts for it after the fact, and there was some issues with the sourcing of the stuff. But then they also had some issues with like just the printability of it, like its reliability and firmware issues and physical issues and all kinds of stuff, that it just kind of never seemed to become a mainstream printer, which is a shame because it looks awesome. But and again, anybody in chat or anybody that's more familiar with it than I am, if you've had one, you know, speak up. Is it a good machine? Because it's not out of the. It's expensive, $1,200 or $1,300, whatever it is, but that's not outside of the price range for everybody. A huge portion of the hobbyist community, consumer community, that's that's expensive, and they're probably never going to get it. But yeah, it just it's really neat. I just wonder when I see something like this, is Piopoli now kind of forgetting about the consumer hobbyist, and now they're just going to go commercial, you know, like a lot of companies tend to?
I don't know. It's a good question, though.
Yeah,
it's a good question. It'd be interesting to see. Listen,
and I'm not saying the Magneto was ever meant to be a hobby,
but it was hard to, like, you never really got to see it like shine. You know, the times where they would bring it out, something was like, going on with it.
Like 2024 3D Printopia. Like I think one was like lost in mail, so they had to bring in like a local person who happened to have one. And I think something was wrong with it. I can't remember, but it always seemed like there was an issue.
3 kgs per hour. That's crazy.
Ultimately, too, we talk about this a lot in the Unspooled Discord, that, and I know I've said it a lot, but every time a new printer comes out, good, bad, or indifferent, it means that the 3D printing community gains a little bit more technology.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit more insight. So, like, this seems like a really cool printer. It's too big for your average person, but it's a pellet extruder that does 3 kilos an hour. That's insane.
3 kilos.
And that's the thing. Like now that this is out, like if this becomes successful, does someone now put out a $2,500 version that is this big, that extrudes pellets and is a lower cost machine, which sometimes might mean not as high quality parts, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad printer if it's less expensive, right? It just it might mean that it came from a company who sources parts and at a lower cost and can then construct and build a printer at a lower cost. So you're right, Matt. Like this could spur a whole host of machines that are pellet, that are similar of this size, that are less expensive, that the hobbyist might be able to obtain. Still though, like I've got no place to put that, right? Like I don't care if this thing was even a price that I would want to spend. I've got no place to put this size of a machine. But
you can do 0.4 millimeters down to up to 3 millimeter nozzles on it, which is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's
impressive. Yeah, and it's you know, it's got good temps, you know, 400C. Still, it's I kind of wonder why they're not at the 500C level, but I mean,
maybe they don't, they feel like they, you know, it's a safe area, to say. But yeah, pretty interesting.
Like for me, like my unobtainium printer, like the printer that I would love to have, but it's just so out of the realm, is in the same price range as that, right? It's about $14,000, but it's the Vision Miner 22 IDX V4. Like that is my dream machine. Like if I could build my perfect printer, that's it. Like they've done it. So for me, that would be like the printer. But that, you know, being bigger in pellet, you know, it's kind of right. But I just I hope it's successful, right? Because I did have a chance at 3D Printopia 2024 to meet the guy behind Piopoly. Super nice guy. I bought actually the Lancer extruder off of him, which is on the Antithesis, but I got it from him at that show. So he's like one of the nicest people you ever meet. So it'd be cool to see this be super successful. I mean, most of us will never see this in person, right? Probably, you know, Joel Telling will probably get one and feature it on 3D Printing Nerd, and that's probably the closest we'll ever see to it.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe see it at one of the rep festivals and drool over it, but it's
not. I mean, I don't think it's a consumer or prosumer machine, to be honest. It is like maybe you know, someone pro would buy one, but it's, in my opinion, it's like very commercial. I mean, the polish on it is commercial, you know.
Yeah, it has and they refer to it as industrial, so it has an industrial commercial look to it. Yeah, and I think it has a 3D Systems Stratasys look to it, right? Like it's not a consumer level printer, but like the two people that the three of us are familiar with, probably most familiar with, that are big printers are like Trax or Frank, right? Like they're the
same person.
Inside joke, but they have, you know, meter by meter big printers, and they print big parts. So this is for them, this is more in the realm of possibility for them, but it's still expensive, and it is smaller than the machines that both of them have right now, because I'm pretty sure they both have a meter by meter printer, right?
Yeah.
So this is smaller. So it's smaller and more expensive. So even for them, it might just might not check all the boxes for something to have. But
oh man, I can't find it. I found a link for this. Speaking of like industrial commercial poster printers, there was like some new company made a like a soft filament printer, like one for, you know, PLAs and PIVA and stuff like that. Because you have, but I didn't.
Which, I mean, most direct drive printers can print all of that, right? The really soft one is Prusa. They had at a couple of the events, they had the silicone, or I think it was the XL that was just printing silicone, which is kind of neat. Like out of touch for most, just because it's a $4,000 printer, right? So in order to, you know, you have to buy the XL first in order to be able to print it. But maybe, I don't know, maybe that's that silicone printing will be available on like the Core One or the MK4 or something like that.
I mean, look at the Cocoa Press. People said how many years ago it was like printing with chocolate? No, there's no way you're going to do that. Now you can buy a Cocoa Press, and on your desk you can be printing chocolates. Yeah, that tastes good according to me, and not the internet, because everybody says they don't taste good.
I've never tried it, so I don't know. I've had plenty of opportunity to try it at 3D Printopia, but to me it's like I have, I mean, you guys all know, like I have like food rules, like no buffet fish, like, you know,
What?
like
Really?
I don't, yeah. So
Surprise,
to
surprise.
me, it just kind of seems like overly handled chocolate on a machine that I don't know if the person has cleaned it well. So I'm not just like picking up a chocolate printed on that and throw it in my mouth. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just
Look, you're talking to a guy who eats gas station hot dogs. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
free-handled cocoa. I'm good.
Yeah, and I'm sure like cocoa pressed chocolate is fine, but you're not the first person that I've heard say that it kind of has a funky taste to it. I don't know. I've never tried it. I'm not a big chocolate fan, anyways. But it's not the first one, right? We had I have one, the pancake bot, right? So the pancake printer. I mean, it was a complete oddity, novelty. You know, it was completely pointless, but it's fun. But if you have a cake making thing or a confectionery based business, then a cocoa press makes sense, right? Because are there any other commercial machines that do something like that?
I mean,
has anybody been in like the baking industry or the culinary thing? Like, I'm just wondering, like, are there commercial level machines that people in the 3D printing community would not know that can extrude shapes out of fondant or plastic? Or
all I know is they had
the
attachment for the ender that you could put on it and print chocolate and mashed potatoes and like some other stuff they were saying.
I love
Speak
mashed
for
potatoes,
yourself.
but I don't want my ender to print my mashed potatoes for me. No thanks.
I've got a few. I will start
So Matt, what would if you could print any food, what would it be?
Ooh, print any food. That's rough. See,
For me, it would be taffy, right? Like I would love to print. I'm not a big chocolate fan, right? I'm not on that side of the sweets thing. Chocolate, it's too rich for me to anything. I'm more of like, I like taffy, Sour Patch Kids, like that level.
Ooh,
but I would love, if I would want a printer that could print taffy.
No. Hear me out. I want a IDEX.
Dark 3D Dimension says baked beans.
Yeah.
Gross. Listen, an IDEX tart printer. Okay, so one handles the dough, the other one handles the filling. Print it out, take the plate off, throw it in the oven. Boom.
I feel like that was a thing, though.
I got you better. Index with caramel, chocolate, and then you got to have a liquid nougat. I'm making my own Snickers bars.
Yeah, you caught me with the nougat. I'm down with the nougat. Yeah,
I'm down. That's a t-shirt right there.
And I want a robotic arm picker that could drop like peanuts in it.
Oh goodness!
Right? Like in each lay of the peanuts.
Like you just got to pause the print like it's magnets and drop the peanuts in.
Yeah, drop the peanuts in.
Back up.
I want it robotic though. I don't want to have to intervene. I want
get the laser etcher from Eufemix so that you can put the logos on top of it.
Oh yeah, right.
Or the from BQ, right? The
panda treats.
Panda treats.
Yeah, you could have that integrated.
Now we're talking.
If the three of us started a business, it would be the biggest monstrosity ever known to man. It would be like the Jetsons of printers, and it would probably be a humongous disaster. But
I'm fine with that. It would
guaranteed
be funny.
to sell. Guaranteed to sell.
Any VCs out there willing to fund us?
Yeah.
Listen,
Shark Tank. Anybody? Shark Tank.
A candy bar printer is not a bad idea. You know what I mean?
No.
Like the novelty of it alone would be enough.
People thought that about the pancake bot, though.
But well, the thing is, they sell like the forms where you can like make your own candy bars now. They're like silicone forms, and you can make your whole own candy bar. The plus side is you know what ingredients are going into it as opposed to what you get at the store. But
basically, it's automation, right? Like,
Bontek, if you're listening, I've got some Ender 3s that we could talk about putting some tool changers on. I'm just saying. Then we'll have the Unspooled chocolate bar maker.
I'm at this point. The Index is like a fantasy to me, right? Like the Index is like this off into the ether thing that everybody says that they've seen and some people have bought, but it doesn't exist to me anymore until it's purchasable. Like I love it, but it's like it's so like
we haven't really even seen it in people that we know hands besides like
like a few beta testers or people that have built one. Like it's just at this point to not get frustrated about it, I've just kind of like put it off the side. Like I'll mention it, but I'm like, nope, until I can go to a website and add it to a cart and have it, I don't want to think about it anymore.
Even a future delivery date. It doesn't even have to be available right now. Just something. Like, let me give you money.
Yeah.
let me give you money.
You buy a Cybertruck, and then 9 years later, you can have the Bondtech.
Yeah. It's like I swear to God, I think the Slate truck will be out before the Index is. Like I will be able to buy a Slate pickup before I will be able to get an Index.
I'm fine with that. Check this out. This thing's popped up on my feed again. I don't know if it's the same one.
Oh yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's the same one.
I'm like, dude, this thing looks so freaking cool.
I have most of the parts ready for that, but the issue is that the CAD from it was so incomplete that I basically had to design like 50% of it. And that's not what it looks like. The version that I have, it doesn't look. It's similar, but it doesn't look like that at all. Like that whole upper frame piece that looks completely different.
Yeah, dude, this thing looks so freaking sweet.
It is cool. Yeah. So see that back cutout. That's where like the tool head goes when it packs up. It's really neat. So it was originally it's in GitHub. You can find the thing. So it was originally called the can't even remember the name of it now at this point. I'd have to start up Fusion, but they had a name for it. It was like the Z Scissor X Scissor or something like that. But it's pretty cool. And if you could do it and it was reliable and it packed up, it's like a suitcase, right? Like you could just
look at that.
You could just stick it in a Pelican case, real nice and clean like. And and the cool thing too is that it's big. I think it was like 200 by 200, something like that.
It's a decent size, yeah. I mean, just look at the size of the tool head compared to the bed. So it's got to be at least 200. Yeah,
it was pretty good size if I remember right. But I'll probably never ever get the damn thing assembled. But yeah, it's really neat. And I think was that Gao Lab? That it doesn't ring a bell, so I don't think that's the original developer for it, or the original designer.
I don't think so either. I think somebody just probably pulled the footage or whatever, unless they made their own version of it or whatever. But it looks freaking sweet.
Yeah, because the version of the initial CAD that I got didn't have the screen in the front like that, and that whole base looks a little different. So it looks like they just took the idea and probably like redesigned the whole thing.
And then this is the last cool thing I saw. Hold on, let me drop this over here. Someone's working. It says hold on. It said No Electronics, I think. AMS.
Yes, I sent you guys this. It's a kid who designed his own. Basically, it's a multi-material system that he 3D printed almost everything for. It runs off an A1 Mini. He actually just released the CAD files for it. You got to buy it. He's trying to make some of his money back because he put a lot of time and effort into it. But it's like 40 euros. I was just looking at it last night because I ended up recently acquiring an A1 Mini, and something crazy like this would be on the thing. I did have a question after we're done with Mech AMS. That's what he's calling it. Cypher Mechanitronics on Instagram. They've got their own little website and stuff. It's very
definitely cool. a different way of doing it. I've seen a couple videos of it on TikTok.
Okay. I didn't understand it at first. So it uses gears. It goes up. And that is freaking cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah, there's in that whole. So at first glance, I thought it was just a
crazy.
different version of like the BCMS or whatever, basically the conversion for the AMS Lite. But there's no motors in that.
That's cool.
It's all gear driven.
Yeah, which is really cool because it's super inexpensive to make, right? The whole I mean, the vast majority of that's 3D printed. Now, the interesting thing would be like to find out how reliable it is, you know, because I mean, the neat thing is that when it goes up, it's only feeding the filament in until it hits the direct drive extruder, and then it's done, right? Then the extruder itself is pulling the filament. So it's kind of ingenious, and it's wild that some kid did this, but
yeah, that's cool.
I am curious. I got a question for Corey because you've become quite popular lately when it comes to controversy.
No,
that's right.
So what Ned is referring to is I made a post 2 days ago about, I referred to it as a what if post, right? Like what if, and it was directed at the Prusa Core 1, right? Like what if in a perfect world I could, and you could, and anybody in the world could buy a Prusa Core 1 for $899, right? A Prusa Core 1, $899 with a moderate shipping, right? So however that works. Again, there's layers upon layers upon layers, no pun intended, but
I'm sorry, what?
Layers upon layers of complication and why a million reasons why this couldn't happen, right? Or why this would never exist, or why Prusa would never even entertain the idea. That wasn't the basis of the thing. That's kind of where it went, right? Like that's where the 40,000 impressions and countless comments, that's where it went, right? About why they couldn't do it. And that's not what it was. It was a what if, right? So what if I could do it? Where would that go? Like, would at $899, is the Core 1 obtainable for all of the people across the world who have never owned a Prusa printer because it's just too expensive, right? A Core 1 fully assembled, take it out of the box and use it, is $1,300, right? That is just unobtainium for a lot of people. So the idea of this, the what if, came as a thought based off all of the Bambu drama that we've seen over the week, right? Over the last 2 weeks. So you guys are all familiar, right? So Bambu does another thing that a large portion of the community finds as shady, right? So they've done things in the past, right? Changing their terms of service after a sale, right? I buy a P1S, you buy a P1S, and you've owned it. And then now they've gone in and they've changed their terms of service to lock it down more, and nobody liked it, right? But they framed that as we're doing it to better our ecosystem and our business and to make it better for you guys. A lot of people didn't buy that, but a lot of people did buy that. And then everybody in between could use that explanation as a way to kind of justify it, right? Like, okay, I don't like it, but I get it, right? I get it. It's a good machine. It's good hardware. They print great. The cost is amazing. The value is amazing for what you get. And that was fine, right? It blew up. It was a huge thing, a big controversy. Everybody made videos about it. Everybody talked about it. We talked about it here. And then it kind of went away, right? And then they did something similar with the Hue Forge thing, Chroma Canvas or whatever they did. A lot of people didn't like that, but a lot of people did like it, right? A lot of people said it was more approachable and easier than things. So again, different camps, but it was a thing that people could justify. And in the end, there was some communication with Hue Forge and they were like, whatever, and all that. But anyways, but what they just did in the past 2 weeks is different, right? They didn't change a terms of service. They didn't even steal a product. They went after one of us, right? They actively went after someone in the community that was using open source AGPL code that they made and threatened to sue them, right? That could be you, Steve. That could be you, Matt. That could be Udo, that could be anybody in our community that would develop something based on open source code, and they went after him, right? And anybody who says they didn't go after him is wrong, right? Because they threatened legal action against Powell. His name is Powell. I think he lives in Poland. And they threatened legal action against him and let's see. Now, if you've followed it, Louis Rossmann, Gamers Nexus is now involved in this, not even in the 3D printing realm, right? But a large company that is YouTube based, that it, like Louis Rossmann, tries to protect other companies, smaller businesses, individuals from large companies picking on them when it's incorrect, right? So the Prusa what if came on the tail end of that, right? Because, and this is my reasoning behind it, Prusa as a company comes out publicly often, and it's usually justified, talking against Bambu, right? Bambu is using open source code incorrectly. Bambu is closed ecosystem. Bambu has changed terms of services after sale. They have openly, as an organization, spoke out against Bambu and justified, right? I don't knock them for that. I agree with Prusa. They're right. Okay. But if you're, as a company, you're going to do that, and again, this is just my opinion. If you're going to do that, then, and you're going to say, Bambu is the Mr. Robot evil corp, and nobody should be buying their printers because they're insecure, they're unethical, they're breaking open source stuff, they're going after developers, they're going after things. If they're going to do that, and I agree with them, I, for one, think they should be putting up an alternative, right? Because if I tell someone, I don't think you want to buy a printer, right? But I don't think you should buy Bambu because they're an evil corp, right? And again, this is not me. I'm just saying this. If I'm someone facing someone asking my opinion about what I buy for a printer, if I am going to say, I agree with Prusa, you shouldn't buy a Bambu because they're evil corp, then I need to provide an alternative, right? And I think Prusa should be providing an alternative. And you can't tell someone, don't buy a $650 X2D because they're evil. Buy a Prusa Core 1 because it's better, when it's 3 times more expensive, right? And you can't look at someone and say, you can't look at the vast majority of people out there buying printers and say, but at $1,300, you get a better company and a better value, in their opinion, at 3 times more expensive, right? Because that just doesn't work for people, right? Like, that's great. Yeah. That's wonderful, right? Like, if I work for a year or 2 years as a kid, a teenager, a college student, an adult who works in a lower income job, and I save for a year or 2 years for $650 to buy a Bambu, but then now a company like Prusa is telling me they're evil, don't buy it. I can't just take that $650 that took me a year or 2 years to send and say, oh, well, I'm going to now wait another 2-3 years to save $1,300 to buy a Core 1, regardless of how good the printer is, right? Or how good the service is, or how good the support is, or how honest that company is. And again, I also said, I know that Prusa can't just will their printers into a price point that is $650, right? Like, of course they can't. So that wasn't the whole what if. It was just, if you could, right? Like, if you could, how many people out there would now buy a Core 1 and get to experience what a lot of people view as a more open, friendly, open source company with a not a locked down ecosystem, because the price is within at a level that they can afford, right? Like that's all it was. But it blew up into like whole kinds of other things about people saying like, oh, they can't do this because their margins are small and they're not Chinese and that's what everybody always says, right? Like, oh, we can't compete with China because they're Chinese, right? They're China. And it's like, I get that. But if we always continue to just default to that, nothing's ever going to change, right? The entire world is always going to be more expensive than whatever you can buy in China. And then nothing's ever going to be different. So again, it wasn't anything about Prusa. I love the Prusa. I would love to have a Core One, right? A lot of people would. It was just what if, right? Like what if I could get a Prusa Core One for $899? I know, and I think a lot of us know, like if they sell 10,000 machines a year, they might sell 20,000. And now they might be able to reach people that they would never reach before. And again, what if, right? That's all it was. But it got a lot bigger than intended or what it needed to be. And like I said, it's not anything against Prusa. I would just like to see other options of equal quality machines that aren't based where some people would elect not to buy a printer out of political things or reasonings or whatever it is, and just have another option, right? So yeah, it's just one of those things. And if you're one or two camps, if you're Bambu camp, you disagree or don't disagree or don't agree. If you're Prusa, some people agreed and didn't agree. If you're somewhere in between, you agreed, you didn't agree, and that's just how it's going to be. But
so I'll say, like, I think one of the, like, regardless of whatever camp, we know Bambu is doing some sneaky stuff right now. And we often, because of how historically it's been presented that China regulates their businesses and has access to stuff, people have always been apprehensive about using the printers. They got cameras and stuff like that. And then there's been situations where stuff has happened in the past with China and their companies based in China. So there is distrust there 100%. Like be it every company falls subjective to it or will follow suit with it, or if they don't, there's still the stigma there attached to it. And then you have Prusa. There are other companies that make printers that aren't in China. They just we just don't know about them like that. You got Lulzbot. You got like a couple other companies,
and they do often tend to be more expensive, right?
They do because of sourcing the parts.
Reasons.
Yes. And then you have Prusa, which people seem to trust. You see those people. You see the people behind the curtain way more than you've seen anyone from any of the other 100%. Companies. So there's a level of trust that's kind of like they're in the community, And I feel like the Core One and then the Core One Plus and whatever. Like I was shocked at the price that when they first came out, because historically they've been known to have a higher price. So I was honestly surprised at the price of those machines. And it was like, okay, like I don't know if they intended to do that or if they were like actually listening to like what people kind of wanted, like a less expensive Prusa machine. But also I do agree. I think more people would spend money on Prusas if they were they don't have to be as inexpensive as the machines that we're getting now, like the Centaur, but you'd have that it's the relationship, the trust that you'd be paying for, as well as a printer that is comparable to those machines, but also meets in the same. I don't know why I'm using my hand so much.
Yes, because price is a matter of perspective, right? So $1,200 for you might be inexpensive, but for me it might be too expensive. And my suggestion of $899 is not an inexpensive printer for many people. That's still a higher
single color,
right?
Right.
We're not and the Core One is $1,300 with no camera and no filtration, no chamber heater, no active chamber heater, right? So and then you could buy something like a Cheedy Q2 for $499 that has all of that, right? So,
Yeah.
and again, I'm not saying my camera's all wonky. I'm not saying that, and I didn't even say that Prusa has to be there, and I didn't say, how dare they? I didn't say everybody should boycott them at $1,300. That was nothing, right? That was just what if. And this was to benefit them. Like, what if I was Prusa and I could sell or develop my printer and sell it at $899? Like, what would that do for me? Like, the amount of sales that I might be able to get, and the amount of people I may be able to help.
Brand loyalty.
And again, they have brand loyalty, they have recognition. And because the one thing that I think a lot of people talk, like, it's easy to look at Prusa and say, oh, their machines are too expensive, that's why I've never owned one, right? I ran a poll just to find out if I was wrong, right? Do people not care about it? Do people not think? And I think there was somewhere upwards of 200 votes, which isn't a ton, right? No. But at 200 votes, and I think like 85% of those votes, the reason that they didn't own a Prusa printer was not because they didn't like them, or just because it was too expensive, right? So my what if is like, how do you get a good Prusa printer into the hands of the people that say it's too expensive,
who want to buy Prusa?
That's just, and I said what if because the likelihood of that ever happening is so minuscule that, as a lot of people said, it's almost not even worth saying, right? And I also said it's not even Prusa's responsibility to create a printer in the price range to even entertain that, right? Like what I was saying, it's not their responsibility to do that unless they really wanted to do that. Just like, and I use the analogy, I can't buy a Ferrari, right? Because it's too expensive. It's not Ferrari's responsibility to create a Ferrari at a price level that I can buy, right? It's my responsibility to make enough money so that I could go out and buy a Ferrari. It's the same thing with a $1,300 Core 1, right? It's not their responsibility to reduce the cost of the Core 1 to $899 so that me or someone else can go buy it. It's up to me to save $1,300 and then be okay with spending that $1,300 on that printer. But what if I could get that at $899? What would that mean, right? That might mean that 1,000 people don't have to settle for a printer from a company that they don't feel comfortable buying, but they don't have another alternative, right?
But if Ferrari made a cheap Ferrari.
Well, so the whole argument, ultimately the whole argument stems from this printer right here.
Not argument.
Snapmaker U1. Not argument, but conversation. Because Snapmaker came out with a printer that no one else had, an affordable, regular consumer, tool changing 3D printer.
Yeah. And again,
that has changed how everyone has started looking at printers. Creality did the same thing. Bambu did it when they first came out. Bambu came out with a printer that just was the best ever because at the time it was.
I will say, seeing Blaine, I think adds a face to Snapmaker. Granted, they're not an American company, but he's created a person that you can look at and can trust. And that's the thing, is like when you're part of the community, people trust you more, and Prusa is a part of the community. We trust them more, Blaine is making Snapmaker, Udo's helping, Danny's helping, these people that we trust are helping make Snapmaker a trusted brand, and they're doing stuff that makes you trust them as well. You got, and part of Full Spectrum that they didn't sue the guy for, like, oh wait, you made Full Spectrum for whatever. So it's
and part of my whole thing about this what if or whatever, and the issues with Bambu, and then talking about getting a more inexpensive Core 1, like part of this is social and philosophical, right? Because it sometimes bothers me that and again, a lot of this comes based in the US, right? There's a lot of people in the US that will always look at a company that is based out of China and say they're evil corp because they're based out of China and they're backed by the CCP.
Yeah.
They always say it, right?
Yeah.
And just because a company is Chinese does not make them a bad company. What Bambu Lab did is not because they are a Chinese company, right?
No.
It has nothing to do with them being a Chinese company. There are countless other, right? So in the top 10 3D printer companies, if you looked at that last data set that was released by Context that listed the percentage of the market share that companies have. Bambu now passed Creality, and now they're at 35 to 37%. They've passed Creality. But if you look at that top 10,
for now,
something like 7 out of those top 10 are Chinese companies, right? And there's a reason for that. They can make machines cheaper than anybody else can. But just because they're Chinese, it doesn't mean that they're bad. And I wish people in the United States would stop doing this blanket, every company that is in China is horrible.
Yeah.
And then justify that by the actions of Bambu, right? Like the actions of Bambu is a poor decision made by whoever decided to go after Powell. And that was a human decision that had nothing to do with their nationality or their place of origin or where they're from, right? So again, people need to stop going after the snap, because you will, what Matt said, right? A lot of this comes with things like the U1, right? Because now we have very, very good printers that are inexpensive. And a lot of people that are in a Prusa camp that are anti Bambu or anti any Chinese manufacturer often say you spend more to get a better product. That's bull. That's BS, right? Because in 2026, it is no longer the case that just because you buy a Chinese manufactured printer at $599 inherently means that is a poorer constructed printer than a Prusa or a Lulzbot or any other printer. I'm looking at a Qidi Q2 that was $499 and has more features than a Bambu P1S X2D or a Prusa, was $499. And I, after 15 years of doing this, know that machine will last me 4,000 to 6,000 hours, no problem, right? So it's no longer the case. Are there printers out there that are lower cost that aren't as good quality? Of course there are.
Yeah.
But we can't keep saying that, right? Like it's one of those things that I wish people would stop blanket bashing
like I said,
Chinese companies.
The difference in price does not equal a difference in quality.
No, it doesn't.
You'd be hard pressed to there's people out there that you can put you can take 5 printers and print the same model, and no one, people wouldn't be able to tell the difference between what machine printed what. So, holistically, you're a lot of times with certain printers and certain companies, you're paying for support, which I personally don't believe in paying for support, because it should just work. Support shouldn't be a part of your argument. They have great support. You shouldn't need support. You shouldn't depend on something breaking and then being able to get quality help, and then the quality. And like I said, now it's at that point where the quality is across the board, all pretty equal, pretty on par.
And yes, some machines vary in their ease of repairability, right? But I have fully disassembled a lot of my machines, right? Like I have fully disassembled several Qidi machines, and they're repairable. They might not be as repairable as something else, but they're still repairable. But it was never easy to put new linear bearings in an MK3, right? You could do it, but it took some time, right? So a lot of people will say oh, that one's more repairable. Well, it's like everything's repairable. Some might be at different levels as far as how long it takes to do it. But And then people will say, oh, well, it's easier to repair. And it's like, okay, so it takes you 2 hours here where it takes you 4 hours here. Like, okay, your downtime if you're a business is on. But for the vast majority of people that buy a lot of these printers we're talking about, they're not consumer level places, right? Like they're not using these for businesses for a lot
here's
of them.
here's the
Some of them
issue,
are.
and we talk about this all the time, and Kevin brought this up. Kevin brought this up. We're like the 2%. The people who care enough to look into this stuff are like the 2%. They're still going to sell a ton of printers because someone told someone else to go get a Bambu. I saw it when I was doing the in-store stuff for Creality. I saw it firsthand. People come in and like I'm sitting there demoing a printer. They don't even bat an eye. They're like, "Hey, where's the Bambus?" You know, and
90.
And that's,
I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but I would dare to say that 97% of people in the world that buy a 3D printer couldn't give 2 F's about open source.
No, not at all.
And then 85, probably 80% of those people, if you said open source, they'd be like, "What's that?"
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
I have talked with people like, "Oh, that's open source firmware," and they're like, "What's that?" And it's like, oh, okay, I'm not even going to get into it, right? Like, so again, by saying buy company A's printer and not company B's because company B is not open source friendly, that's such a small percentage of people. It's the us, right? And it's the us that got upset when they went after one of us, like Powell, because he's one of us, right? Like,
but it's also
97% of people aren't, you know.
It's the us that provides the press, and if they really care about press, then they'll do something. If they don't, then they're like, all right, well, only this small niche of people are watching this stuff, or
most
watching
people are never
Rossman,
even gonna see Louis Rossman's video.
Exactly. or the majority of people who will see it are like, who's Bambu? What is this? And they might not even be 3D print. I'm pretty sure majority of people who watch his videos aren't 3D printing.
So a perfect example of what you just said, Steve, is yesterday I spoke with a friend of mine who has no clue about 3D printing, never owned a 3D printer. I don't even talk to this guy about 3D printing. The only thing I talk to this guy about is gaming. We are both into gaming. We are both retro handheld connoisseurs. That's what we have in common. He follows Gamers Nexus, who also got into this Bambu issue with Louis Rossman and the lawyer there that basically all three of them said, Powell, if you host your code and Bambu comes after you, we'll all pay the first $10,000 of your legal fees, right? So this friend of mine knows Gamers Nexus, and I talked to him and I said, did you see what Gamers Nexus said about Bambu? And he's like, yeah, I don't know, like knows nothing about it, right? Like when they put out that video, he could have cared less. He was watching their Gamers Nexus latest video where they chaptered all these different news issues in the Gamers Nexus world. And there was a chapter in that talking about the Bambu Lab issue going after Powell. And I said, well, did you watch it? And he's like, no, I skipped right by it. He could care less, right? So that's what we're saying, is that we're the people that care about this thing, you know? Yeah. But at a grander scale, if I'm a 3D printer manufacturer and I'm saying, don't buy Bambu, buy me, that only holds water if I have a comparable option, right? Yeah. And comparable option includes price. Yeah. And everybody kept saying to me yesterday, well, you can't take price into consideration because they have better support, better printer, they're nicer, they follow open source, they're unethical. Well, again, 97% of people out there don't care about that, right? No. They care about what the printer does for them based off how much they pay for it. And that's what they base their value on.
And how easy it is to use.
Exactly.
Easy
right.
To use. Yeah.
So nobody is going to stop buying Bambu printers based off the fact that they went after one of us, no matter how much we want them to, right?
Yeah.
Out of the 97%, maybe 2% of those might stop buying it. Because I have seen even the staunchest Bambu supporter yesterday or this week come out and say, and I'm not going to name names, but I've seen some people that have been very staunch Bambu supporters and be like, okay, this isn't, now you kind of cross the line and it's a little bit much and thing. But again, that's going to be what? Instead of 97% of people that'll still buy a Bambu, 96 will. Like, who cares?
Well,
when you own 37% of the market, who cares, right? They
That
don't
and
care.
ultimately for us, like Kevin said, the 2%ers,
yeah,
we care the most.
Yeah.
But in the end, everything that happens, good, bad, or indifferent, all these little fights, they push the technology, they push the products, the prices, they push them down because everybody's trying to get that piece of the market share. And the people who end up getting the best benefit out of it are the 2%ers.
Yeah.
The general community, they're not going to argue, like you said, they're not going to argue over a $1,500 printer or a $700 printer. They don't care if they're going to ask their Corys, their Steves, their Matts, hey, what do you think? Because you're that guy. And then we're going to give our opinions. And ultimately,
and like I said,
it's good.
I'm not a Bambu guy or a Prusa guy, right?
Yeah.
For various reasons. I don't like the closed ecosystem, and I don't like some of the business decision that Bambu has done. So I've gotten rid of all my Bambu printers except for one P1S. And the only reason why I have that is waiting for the BQ Cyborg so I could gut that friggin' thing, keep the good hardware in it, but yet be free of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't own any Prusa machines. I've owned 4 MK3S Pluses in the past, and I loved them. They were great machines, but they were outdated, and I moved them on and replaced them with different machines. And I don't own any Prusa machines because I think that they are a little bit too expensive for what you get. I think you get better value in other machines. So for me, when I would love to recommend a Prusa, right? I do think it's a good company. I like what they stand for the most part. I don't agree with 100% of the things they say or do, but I think they're a good company. But if someone comes to me and asks me for my honest opinion on what they should buy for a printer, I'm not recommending Bambu or Prusa.
Yeah.
Because there are many other printers out there that
Like
are
Reality.
just as good as both and cost less and are from a company that I have no distrust in.
Yeah.
Right?
Creality, just like Creality. No,
Again,
seriously, no,
Creality's had their issues too, but I don't inherently have
Yeah.
any distrust in them, right? And
So-
I don't have any distrust in a Cheaty. I like Cheaty machines. Those are the ones that I currently recommend.
Here's the thing, and like my cousin's getting into 3D printing.
Yeah.
The downside of it is, for my ease of use, I'll probably still recommend a Bambu P1S. I hate that I would have to, but for what you get from it, and knowing my cousin, I'm probably gonna recommend. Like I'm more on the fence than I was, a month ago. A month ago, I was like P1S because it's gonna be easier for me to tell you how to use it, But now it's like, I still would probably say a P1S, but I'm like leaning away from it, and it's only because for what he's willing to spend, that's the best option, for what he would get from it.
And that's not a wrong answer, right? Like,
Yeah.
I agree. I've said that to many people too.
Yeah.
But I don't think that today that kind of holds water anymore, because
doesn't.
the Q2, the U1, the Centauri Carbon, the 2,
The 1 and the 2.
all of these printers are just as easy to use as a Bambu.
They are.
They're not any more difficult.
There's
They
more
print
documentation for Bambu. That's the issue. It's like, I can send him to a wiki and just like, here you go.
Well, you would think that, but it does to this point. But the Cheaties, the Snapmakers, the Elegoo's, they have come a long way in the last year.
100%.
Their support's better, their documentation's better. That Snapmaker U1, and I keep pointing over there because it's over there, but that one behind Matt, that has the best assembly manual that has ever been done for a 3D printer.
I literally have it on my desk. I flipped through it the other day for no reason.
Nothing has ever come close to that, period, right?
Yep.
So documentation for the other companies, the companies like Cheaty, FlashForge, Elegoo, and Anycubic, that have somewhere between like 3 and 10% market share have recognized over the last few years that the community is right, and they need to step up their game in their support, in their documentation, in their assembly manuals, in their slicer integrations, all of it. And it is way better than it used to be. And I don't think today that most people can, with a straight face, say that without a doubt, a Bambu Lab or a Prusa is easier to use than a Cheaty, a Snapmaker, or an Elegoo, or an Anycubic. A Flash Forge. You just can't.
Give it 12 months, and then what conversation are we going to be having in 12 months? Prusa have been around for longer than any other printer.
15 years.
And Creality has sold more printers than anybody out there.
Yep.
But every 6 months, somebody's coming out with something new that is pushing the boundaries of what we consider consumer grade printing. And this is just one more step. And ultimately, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Prusa gives us a $1,000 Core 1. It doesn't matter if Snapmaker keeps making U1s affordable. It doesn't matter if Bambu keeps making P1S style printers that just work. People are going to buy whatever they want based on the general consensus or whatever the person that they are getting their information from. So
yeah, and it's based off the general consensus in their bubble, right?
Yep, 100%.
So from their perspective, and the bubble of recommendations or opinions that have touched them personally, they're going to make a decision, right? So they're going to buy a Bambu, they're going to buy a Prusa, they're going to buy a Cheaty, they're going to buy a Snapmaker based off the opinions that have influenced them within their bubble, right?
Yep.
But everybody's bubble is different. So your opinion and your perspective on what is the best value printer is different among everybody. And no matter what Bambu says or Prusa says or Cheaty says or whatever somebody says is the best value for your dollar spent on a 3D printer, everybody's opinion on that is different. And if you're talking to someone, Matt, they're going to believe you because you're in their bubble and you have the experience with it, and they trust you and they say, oh, I trust you, I'm going to go buy this printer. But 9 months from now, their bubble may expand. And now that that sphere of influence is beyond you, and they talk to their brother who owns a Prusa Core 1 and says, Matt's wrong, the Prusa Core 1 is better. And now they sell the Creality and they buy a, so none of us are all right and none of us are all wrong.
Yeah.
But all we can do is just try to help the people that are in our bubbles the best we can.
I'll also say, if I know someone who's like, hey, I got, $1,000 and I want to, get into 3D printing. And I'm like, and they're like, oh, I heard about this Prusa Core 1. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was like, but for the same features, you can get for single color printing, you can get a Centauri Carbon 1. You can get 3 of them, or almost 4 for that same price. And I would probably tell them to go that route. Like if you're only printing one color items, hey, and you're trying to start a business, like that's not the machine for you. Go get this machine because you can. You can print, you can do 4 times as much business now with these 4 machines at roughly the same price as you would, for assembled, what's the name for an assembled Core 1 Plus. So, and
I'm not a camper, right? Like I'm not a brand, I'm not a brand snob. I'm not that in anything, right? Like I have my favorite vehicles, right? I like Toyota and Honda, but it doesn't mean that I inherently hate Chevy and Ford and Dodge and all the other manufacturers out there, right? If it's a good vehicle, I'll buy it. Printers are the same thing. I don't have a preference. I'm not in a staunch camp. I'm not Cheaty only. I right now happen to like the Cheaty because what it does for me per what I pay for it. I don't think you can beat it. I don't think there's another machine out there that can do what a Cheaty can do for the money. But it doesn't mean that I dislike Prusa or Bambu. I like the Bambu machines. I just don't agree with the company. I love a Prusa machine. I just can't afford them. I can't afford to buy 6 Prusas. I can afford to buy 6 Cheaties or 6 Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2s or 2 or 3 Snapmaker U1s, right? Like, so my thing is I choose to spread the love, right? I would rather have 5 different brands printers than 5 of the same brand, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I have owned farms. I've owned 6 of the same machines for a tool, for a purpose. I didn't care about who made it. It just worked for me, right? So I did it. They happen to be Elegoos, but who cares? So, but my hope is that we're getting to a point where the 3D printing industry is maturing, right? It's maturing globally to the eventual maturity level of something like the automotive industry, right? But I hope that we don't get to the automotive industry to the point where there's 5 basic manufacturers who control everything, right? And we're headed that way, right? Like we're headed to a point where you're going to have like 5 or 6 manufacturers who dominate it. It's such a mature market that what they say is gospel, right? And I kind of hope we don't get to that level. There's always going to be the top 5, the top 6, the top 10 based off market share or popularity. But I just hope we never get to a point where it becomes such a mature market, such a mature industry that there are 5 bigs that block that literally spend millions of dollars to block out the little guy, right? Because the automotive industry does that, right? Like Slate has been handling that, right? Like Ford isn't making it easy for Slate to become a big automobile manufacturer, right? Like they have an agenda and they have a benefit to keep that from happening. And I hope we never get to a point in 3D printing where that happens, where the community or the world allows the Bambu Labs, the Prusas, the Elegoos, the Snapmakers to start dictating who can get into the market. You know, that's
I think it'll get harder though, because
it will.
This our side of the community, it's growing. You know, there's more people that are, you know, there's people who get into it just to make a buck. There's people who get into it just to print stuff for their kids. And then, you know, and then there's there's different levels. Like we're the level where we do a podcast about 3D printing and then we sit in Discords about 3D printing all day.
For the 3%.
Yeah, for the 3%. But that percentage is growing because, you know, we meet people who get into it. Like I have a brother that's into it now. His son, my nephew is into it. My cousin's into it. But like I got 3 close friends that could care less. They're like, Steve has a 3D printer. If I need something, I'll get him to do it. They don't care anything about it. And my brother watches the podcast. My cousin, he probably will start watching it, but they probably won't be in Discords, you know, and all of the other levels of like intricacy that's involved with 3D printing. You know, there are Discords that are super popular, but they're usually printer related. You know, the Bambu Discord has a ton of people. Crowley Discord has a ton of people. But on the other side of that, and they're kind of they're printer agnostic, as Polymakers Discord is huge. 20,000, probably 25,000 people maybe by now, or 30,000, and they're printer agnostic. It doesn't matter, you know, and that's the type of stuff that like someone saying something in there about, you know, I'm not saying that they have to, I'm not saying that they should or shouldn't take a stance, but places where the people are, and they've been known to not be associated with a brand, places like that hold a lot of weight, you know, in the community.
Well, it's just like by nature, right? Like you can't fully trust someone who is backed by a company fully, right? Like if you have an individual who makes a living based off advertising for a specific company, you really can't fully trust them. You could listen to what they're saying, and it can take weight on you, right? It can help steer your decision on the product you purchase. But my other passion is gaming, retro gaming handhelds, right? And there is a big YouTuber by the name of Retro Game Core, right? He's like the guy that everybody, but you never know behind the scenes. They'll say it, but you never know behind the scenes if the Ambernicks of the world, the Mius of the world, the AYNs, the big retro gaming handheld creators are paying him to say certain things, right?
Yeah.
And regardless of what they'll say, like right now, we will say Unspooled has never been sponsored, we're not funded by anybody, we're impartial. The three of us are printer agnostic. We have the ones that we'll recommend, but if somebody asks me my recommendation on a printer, I'll give them three options. I very rarely ever just give one. Somebody said it in Unspooled the other day. They said I had in the Discord, I have $400 to buy a printer. What printer should I buy? And my response to that was, depends on what you need it for. Are you printing technical filament? Are you only printing PLA? Do you need an enclosure? Do you care if it's enclosed? Do you need a chamber heater? Multicolor, multi-material? There's a bunch of questions that comes with that. And I will tend to give three options, right? And a lot of times it's based off me. Like I'll say, this is my current favorite. This is my next favorite. And then you can decide what you want to buy. But I don't think anybody who is looking at YouTube, Twitch, or any other platform, X or anything, should ever look at someone and say, I fully trust that person, and I'm going to buy that machine based off exactly what they say, right? You should listen and watch, if it matters to you, as many different opinions as you can, and let that weigh into your decision. I mean, if you know the person, and you trust the person and you fully make a decision on what one person says, that's fine too, but I will always tell people, if you're getting new into retro handhelds, do your research and find the one that you like the best. If you're getting into 3D printing, do your research, listen to a bunch of people that you think know what they're talking about, and then based off the feeling they give you, then make your determination, but I think you always have to be suspect of that person that is always like, this product is unequivocally the best, don't buy anything except for this, right? Like, because sometimes there's an agenda behind that, right? And so it's like that informed consumer, right? No matter what your industry is, just be an informed consumer.
I will say it's gotta suck right now to like have, you're starting your channel or you're starting to get into 3D printing or whatever, or you're woodworking and Bambus, because they sponsor quite a few. They give printers to quite a few people, be it YouTube or Instagram, and like you got your Bambu printer, and like people are like, and then one of us comes along like, hey, they're the evil empire, and they're like, this person's like totally not even included, and now they like, they feel like they gotta take a side because they're sitting out here making videos and recommending it to like their crowd and their their people. It's like, well, what do they do? They're probably in a state of like, I'm obligated to make these videos supporting this company, but on the other side, I don't necessarily agree with what they're saying. So it's gotta freaking suck for.
And in the end, right? In the end, it boils down to the individual. If I watch so and so, and on that video they say, I am not sponsored by this person, they don't have any insight into this video, they don't see the video before I place it, that my opinions are my own, I'm impartial. It's up to me to whether I look at that video and I believe that person, right? Because no matter who you are, unless you know that person personally, there is no way that you can believe that, right? Because you don't know. So even if somebody says that, unless you fully trust the integrity and the ethics of this person or know them personally, can you ever believe that, regardless of what they say? That's why I always tell people, like, be an informed consumer. Like, don't just take what I say, even though I will tell you I'm an impartial person. I'll tell you based off what you say your need is, but they're going to believe me or not believe me, right? And that's okay. Some people will believe me, some people won't. And it's like that with anybody, right? Like when I started in this 15 years ago, nobody was making YouTube videos, right? Like nobody was making YouTube videos about 3D printing. You'd see like the college student who puts out a 3D printer about some Mendel, or we were all building these like weird makeshift machines or modding things and all that stuff, but nobody was making. And then, you know, Joel Telling, I think, might have been the first one that I ever saw that made a YouTube video, and it was on a FlashForge Creator Pro, I think was the first video he ever put out, and he unboxed it on his kitchen table in some family room, right? And I, at the time, watched that, and I remember thinking, oh, this guy seems like just me, right? He's literally on the opposite side of the coast to me. He's my Washington counterpart of me, right? Like he's doing what I'm doing here. He just happened to make a video about it. And at the time, I remember watching that video and at the end of it being like, ah, that's cool, right? Like I believed him. He just had a way about it that I believed him.
Yeah.
And I watched.
He still does. You know what I mean?
And he still does, right? And I watched Joel's stuff. And after like 12 years of his stuff, he's been able to hold that. And at this day, when Joel says something, whether I see him at an event or I watch a video of his, I still believe him, right?
Yeah.
There are other people that have done stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if, you know, I don't know, right? It's just everybody has their own opinion on what they're going to believe and who they're going to believe. And that's a good thing because, you know, we all have to make our own decision. But it's another thing. It all boils down to I am a person that likes all printers, and I want there to be all printers available to everybody, right? Because I don't ever want to get to that world where when I go buy a printer, I've got 3 options and that's it, because that would be pretty friggin' depressing to me, right? Like I hope that there is always 10, 12, 15, 20 different companies out there all making really cool equipment, really cool printers and other type of stuff, dryers and AMSs and tool changers that we all get to pick from. So
so you guys, we've been at it for an hour 46 minutes. If you had one, let's say 3D printing piece of advice to give the 2%ers and even the 98%ers, what would you do, or what would you say?
Can it not be about it? Does it have to be about like give me specifics?
Anything in the 3D printing world? If you had a little bit of advice for someone, what would it be?
I'm corny. I'm just gonna be like, have fun, do what you want to do. Like if you want to buy Bambu, go ahead. Like don't let people keep you from enjoying the hobby. I care more about the hobby than I do about like all of the other like minutia. I hope I used that right, but like all of the other like small details. Like if buying a Bambu gets you to come to, you know, 3D Printopia or Remerve or whatever, do it. Like it's important, but it's not, to me, it's not as important as people enjoying what I like to do, you know. So Jeff Prince says level your bed. But yeah, so that's probably the gist of it for me. It's like, and just enjoy the hobby. Don't let the politics keep you from having fun with it, regardless if you're in the 2% or not in the 2%. If you're in the, you know, the vast majority of people who are into it, if you're a teacher or whatever, teachers don't care. It's like whatever's donated to the school, that's what we're going to use, you know. So like, don't let all of the other stuff keep you from doing it. But like I said, as a new influencer and you're contractually obligated to like that kind of stuff, it's going to suck for them for a little bit, because they have to pitch this machine. They may be obligated to 5 videos, and for 5 videos you have to, you know, drink the Kool-Aid. You got to serve it. You know, you got to drink it and you got to give it to other people. You know, that's going to be the thing that's kind of like sucky for people. Some of the people that we know, you know, if that, you know, or, you know, channels that we watch, they're going to have to, you know, do that thing.
Yeah. And I don't have like, advice, I usually say two things. I say learn as much as you can with the time that you have available. Two, I always tell people the best printer you have is the one printing behind you, right? I don't care what it is. And that's just what I tell people. Learn as much as you can with the available time you have, and the best printer is the one printing behind you. I don't care if it's a 10-year-old Ender 3 or friggin' something you made, or a Bambu or a Prusa, right? So that's usually just what I say. And then the third corny thing is like what Steve said, just have fun with it, right? Have fun with it, or build a business with it, right? And maybe the business is fun. Maybe the business is just business and you don't care anything about the 3D printers. It's just a tool for you, you know? Because ultimately, like, my answer to your question is the stereotypical depends. And I didn't want to say that, right? Yeah. Like, I didn't want to say depends, but that's what it is, really. It's a depends. I always say that. And people will be like, oh, I hate when people say that. And I'm like, I know, so do I. And I don't even like saying it. But 3D printing is so vast and so complicated, and there's so much in it that you often can't give one point of advice or one sentence of an advice. Yeah. And it sit okay with me. Like I will say something and then I'm like, oh my God, I want to go on this 45-minute diatribe of like what that means, you know? Yeah. So I usually just say, you know, have fun, learn as much as you can in the time you're willing to put into it. And then the best printer is the printer printing behind you. And then I leave it at that. And then if they want to know more, they typically know where to find me. So I mean, that's my whole journey has just been trying to have fun with it. Yeah. You know, it's like, you know, from, you know, starting printing, sharing prints, to this podcast, to going to events, working at events. You know, like all of that is fun to me. When the moment it starts to not become fun is the moment where I'll probably pivot to some other hobby. So I actually, and it's a good thing you brought up that point. I actually had someone say to me like 2 weeks ago, and it was very disheartening. This is someone who's been into 3D printing for quite a long time, 7-8 years. Mm-hmm. And they actually said to me, I'm thinking about getting rid of all my printers because, and they're a 3%er, right? Like there's someone like us that is into it. And they said, I'm thinking about getting rid of all my 3D printers because the community has become so toxic and awful that I'm tired of listening to it all. I'm tired of reading it all. I'm trying to see it all. So they're like, I'm just going to get out of it. And I was like, don't, right? Like, where are those people hanging out though? That's the thing that always, they're not wrong though, right? There are toxic sides of this community, and they're hanging out in the wrong places. But we all have our moments where we dip our toes into the toxicity, right? It's human nature. We all have done it. But what I try to say is like, don't every industry community, every industry that has a social media presence has that. Cars, right, Matt? Performance automotive has that. Lego building has that. Retro handheld has that. We're human beings, and you're always going to have pockets of toxicity in an industry or within a hobby that is online. And you're always going to have positive people who occasionally dip their toes into that toxicity and then come back out. We've all done it, right? Regardless of what we say. We've all dipped our toes into that toxicity because it has an allure to it, right? Like it has a draw to it. It's the train wreck that we don't want to watch, but we can't help it. So I just said, you know, pull yourself away. Don't, you know, it's like that mental health about doom scrolling. Stop doom scrolling and come to the realization that that is a very small portion of it, right? Like that's going to happen wherever you're at. So just try not to focus on that. And then if we do that, like my post and conversation over the last 2 days with Prusa, it fired a lot of people up, right? Like it fired a lot of people up. You pissed them off, man. But all of my comments to all of them were as positive as I could possibly be, because it's a conversation that needs to be had, right? And a lot of times it is a conversation, but we can have these difficult conversations or these uncomfortable conversations or these what if conversations with a positive light, right? And be respectful to people. And it's hard, right? Because you may say something that offends someone and you didn't mean to do that, right? Like you didn't think it would offend them, but you said it and it's out there. So
I'll say that you managed it well without creating a divisive situation.
Yep.
Well, I think that's what you kind of you have to try to do, right? Like you should never feel that you shouldn't be able to say something. But you should also know that if you say something that is opinion based or hypothetical or theoretical or whatever it is, there's going to be a portion of people online, because you're now public, right?
Yeah.
That are going to come at you about it. And it's sometimes hard to deal with that positively, right? Because you get fired up about it, they get fired up about it, and you never know where it's going to go. And again, like I've dipped my toes into that toxicity as well. We all, I'm not any different than anyone else. And I've gone at people online or I have said things online in the 3D printing community that I had full positive intention behind, but the other people have become offended by that. And I never want to do that. I never want to purposely offend people, but at the same time, sometimes you're going to say things that if you're public that do offend people. The hope is that you guys can come together and talk that through and end up on a positive side, right? Because you never know like the other person's perspective behind anything and where they're at in their life. So like I said, if you get into that toxic moment within this community or any community, hopefully you can just do so with grace and respect, and try to offend the least amount of people as you can, but also not being afraid to speak your mind, right? Because that is another thing. That what's the point of having this community if we're all so afraid to give our opinion, right? That's not healthy either. So, but
you said toxicity like 3 times and Stay Creeping showed up. That was crazy. No, he's not toxic. He's a nice guy. If you got the meet Murphy's,
he's in California, right? They're too laid back.
Yeah, he's in California. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, you managed it well without it becoming, a green and blue. I mean, a green and orange thing. Though, some people, granted, I didn't see, well, let me take this. Green people weren't showing up. It was all orange that were like, hey, man, leave them alone. And it wasn't like you were picking on, like you said, it was a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Like I said in the Discord the other night, if like they could keep the One Plus, the Core One, at $899, make a core 0, make something that's like in between the two. That would be great. A lot of people would probably buy. You make something that's like $699.
I don't want to paraphrase everything I said before, but again, this was a what if they keep it at 1,300, I don't care, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is, but
at the end of the day, it's level your bed. I don't care what printer you have, buy under 3s, just saying, and then have fun.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of any hobby. It doesn't matter what hobby you're in.
And that's it. Like you said orange and green. I refer to myself as brown, right? Because you take all the colors and you mix them together, and that's where I'm at. I don't care. It's not that brown. Stop, Steve. So I knew you were going to go there.
Inside joke.
But and that's the thing. It's okay to be green, and it's okay to be orange, and it's okay to be blue, whoever else has a blue logo, I don't know. But when you say green nowadays, that can be either Creality or Bambu. Everybody knows.
Yeah, they did pivot to green. I forgot about
everybody knows that when you say green, though, you mean Bambu. I mean,
yeah, true.
So, but yeah, like whatever color you subscribe to, it's fine. But try to be okay with someone else not being orange or not being green, right? Because that's okay.
Just don't care. Just
enjoy
the hobby.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the hobby, man.
This is the longest.
It's Saturday, so it's like we kind of like we're not sleepy,
And we didn't talk about the Infomec at all.
I know, and we didn't talk about the Infomec. It's sold out. You know that the 5-color one is sold out.
I know.
Yeah.
I love I don't know. I love my Infomec. I've told a lot of people my Infomec TX. is, if not the best, is one of the best out of the box clipper experiences I've ever had in my entire life. It was that good. And my hope is that the MX either version or the EX with the APS is equally as good, because if it is, I mean, we're in for a treat at a very low cost. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It'll be neat to see. And we'll at some point we'll get to see whose soul is picked. Who's what is it? What are they calling the D7s?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the D7. Yeah.
Now, question for you guys.
I might grind a soul real quick, try to make something up just to participate.
So, question for all three of you: will you buy one of these?
The $200
like, will you buy a pair of D7s? Because they're not cheap.
I don't buy $200 shoes, regardless of what they made.
Right.
I wear $7.99 flip flops from Walmart. And shorts and t-shirts, all produced from Walmart.
Because I've heard a lot of people being like, that are not 3D printers that are aware of these shoes, of the Zellerfelds in general. And and I've had people that are not 3D printers ask me, I've always understood that 3D printing is supposed to make manufacturing less expensive. So why are these shoes $200? And I'm like, I'm not getting into that. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's a valid point, right? Like, things that are 3D printed with or manufactured with 3D printing, a lot of it is supposed to be easier to manufacture, less waste, less expensive. But a lot of times, mainstream 3D printed things that people have seen and they've talked to me about it tend to be more expensive. So it's kind of funny, but I don't want to get into that now. But.
In the community, I will say this: I wouldn't buy them.
Yeah.
Not for the price. I don't care. It doesn't matter the price. If you took out the price, I still wouldn't buy them. But I'm a 2%er. I have 5 printers on my shelf there.
You'd rather print something your own, right?
I'm going to print the set and I'm going to make them whatever I want. But I will say this: the competition has made me want to print TPU flip flops more than it has in a very
long time. Sloffies. Yep. I like that guy a lot. So his name's like Jandre. He's from Egypt. He's all over X, and I think they're on Printables, maybe Maker World as well. You guys are probably all familiar with him, but Jandre something, I think his name is.
Listen,
and they're Sloffies, and he's had those things out there for like 6 years, and they're cool as hell. And he was like the OG person doing 3D printed flip flops. So show him some love.
In my book, all sandals, all flip flops can die in a fire.
Oh, no.
I freaking hate them. Your shoes should not make noise when you walk. Crocs are cool.
Oh, what?
Crocs are okay. So you're okay with Crocs, but not flip flops?
Okay. So
number one.
Now we know.
Number one. I shouldn't see your toes. Plain and simple.
If you ask my kids, you're not allowed to wear socks.
You should ask me permission for your toes to be in my presence. I don't want your toes around me, dude. Just plain and simple.
I could care. I love a flip flop, man. I love a flip flop. I love a flip flop. I love a slide. I love any form of things. What I don't like are like the TiVo sandals with like the straps over the thing.
Yeah,
like the hiking sandal.
The dad.
And I don't want to offend anybody, but some people refer to them as the Jesus sandal.
The New Balance of sandal.
Yeah, I do not do that. The hippie kicks, yeah.
Why would you want your toes to be exposed while hiking? Is my question, because that just seems really dangerous. No, don't make up excuses for them. Like, calm down.
No, I'd rather just put my Crocs in 4-wheel drive and like flip the heel.
But I don't want my toes out if I'm walking through the woods. That's just a recipe for disaster. Obviously not, because people will still do it. But in my book, don't do it. It's nasty.
Steve is all about aesthetics and look. He likes his printers to look good. Yes. He likes all his stuff to look good. And if your toes are gangly, keep them puppies.
Next week we will be having a toe conversation. We will not talk about 3D printers. Just a heads up for everybody.
Yeah, what if you have nice looking feet though?
Oh, that's cool.
Here we go. I told you toes. Next week. Tune in on to Wednesday for the toe conversation.
So are you just are you the camp that think all feet are disgusting no matter what they look like or who they're attached to? Okay.
Listen, as a photographer, I respect a good foot. Okay, you know, if a foot is in the shot, you don't want it to look like freaking like a gargoyle claw, you know, gripping onto like the root, onto like a ledge.
Yeah, so they gotta be the best looking ugly feet.
But let's be clear, flip-flop people, sorry, Matt, not all flip-flop people have great feet.
No.
Like I don't want to like look down and see like some ballerina feet looking at me.
I mean,
ballerina feet are terrible, by the way.
Yo, yeah, they have some gnarly toes. I am a flip-flop person, and I, for one, I'm like, I don't have good-looking feet, right? My feet are friggin' bony and veiny and flat and just not there. They fall in the far like of good-looking feet, and I could care less, right? I couldn't have cut my toenails in 3 months, and you might look at those, and it might be some friggin' horror movie like crazy thing, and I could care less. Don't look at my feet, right? Like,
we might have to have more Saturday streams, because we have gone from pancake 3D printed enders to feet pics and everything.
And Steve fighting dinosaurs.
True
story. Don't forget.
I wouldn't fight.
You may have to though. That's like a fighter. A fight.
He'll have his
can't
flight
thing, right? Like,
yeah.
You go on some island with dinosaurs, you're gonna have to fight.
Here's the thing: you can't run fast in flip flops. You know what I'm saying? Like you dinosaur bait.
But you can run fast barefoot. At least some people can.
You
can kick those bitches off quick. So,
have you ever seen people don't kick their flip flops off when they're being chased? They just run. They try to run in the flip flops, busting out. I
kick them puppies off. I've run before, not for like fear of my life, but I've like quickly gone to run, and I've kicked these Crocs off pretty damn quick before. So I would probably do the same thing with a flip flop, but yes, you cannot run in flip flops effectively. I mean, you can do it, but it doesn't look good.
I am torn because of the 3D printing of flip flops. I mean, not flip flops, of sandals. They do still look cool, especially if it's like in a cookie CAD.
I think Steve needs to 3D print some sloffies.
No, I do plan on making my own 3D printed shoe, but I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be 100% 3D.
So
printed. I hate that people put that way.
We need to get you
comboed.
We need to get you into Wexter's stream, and you can have a conversation with Karen. So, damn it, it's Karen, who is mod in Wexter stream. Awesome person. She is you, but Crocs. She has said before that she would cut her feet off before she would ever wear a pair of Crocs, and I believe her. You are Karen, but with flip-flops.
No, Crocs are nice.
She's Crocs. She's anti-Crocs. You're anti-flip-flops. Like
3D Printopia
you guys
this
might
year,
commiserate in your distrust for
TPU flip-flops.
Yeah,
we'll wear them.
But you guys might be able to commiserate in your distrust for alternative footwear. Just saying.
We just combine the shoe and make a Croc flop. Is that what you're saying?
She hates Crocs.
It's like flip flop in the front and Croc in the
back. As a Croc wearer, I run into a lot of Croc people. Run into a lot of people who dislike Crocs, but Karen's on like a whole nother level. Like we're joking around. She's a Harley Quinn fan, so we were joking around. I think it was Pokon that did it about sending her these Harley Quinn they sell these like Harley Quinn themed Crocs, and there was a joke about like sending her these, and I'm serious. If you are the one to send these to her, you better hope that there isn't a return address on that, because she is going to hunt you down and murder you.
I am anti Harley Quinn, and it's not because of the character. It's because I feel like she is the epitome of when a woman says, "I like bad boys," and I'm like, too many people just kind of like jump on the Harley Quinn bandwagon just for the sake of. I don't have any. Like,
I'm indifferent.
It's just one of the few characters that it's not even the character. It's just people's infatuation with the character. I feel like it's kind of blown out. So yeah, I definitely feel like Pokon. It was a Pokon or Grumpy. That whoever it is, send her the Harley Quinn Crocs, please.
It was one of the two of them. Were like, oh, we're gonna. I don't remember who brought up the. It was one of the two of them, or maybe it was Exter himself that brought up the Harley Quinn Crocs. But it was like, she is fired up about.
Grenier says she
dislike.
don't like Crocs.
Nope. Yeah, Grenier is always in there, and yeah, she does not like Crocs, man. Yeah. Now, steak. What's steak? So, if you're a West Coaster, right, like Matt, and you're in a hot area like California's, man, that must be like the hot spot of flip flops, right? Like everybody in California must wear flip flops. Now, what is a Californian's view on Crocs?
They probably don't care.
I'll have to ask
Californians are weird. They like all kinds of stuff. They probably me. I like flip flops and socks at the same time.
Me too. I wear flip flops and Crocs. I wear flip flops and sock, like not the in the toe ones though. Like
in
not
the toe
with socks though.
God. Oh yes.
Oh no, I can't do that
with socks.
No, you lost me, man. On that.
That's a foot wedgie hat.
Yeah. I can do the flip flops. I can do the flip flops that are like that without socks, but not with socks. That's blasphemy. Yeah. No.
That's nasty. Here's the thing. Listen,
they make the fingered toes though, or the socks that have the fingers.
My thing is, okay, you flip flop and socks. What if your sock gets wet, man? Wet sock to me is like the second worst thing in the world. I don't know what the first one is, but at least on my list of things that I hate like the most, it's got to be like a wet.
Well, you can just whip the socks off, put your foot back in the flip flop, and go with it. Because
that's disgusting. It's double disgusting now. Triple, because now I see your feet and you're wearing flip flops and you had a wet sock.
I got wet socks in my pocket.
Now I can smell and they look horrible. And I am subject to watching all of it go down.
No.
Yeah. I agree with Sideline. I don't mind. Wet socks don't really bother me. It's not great. It's like he says, wet underwear, man. Like I can't, like people who swim with underwear under their bathing suits, you are monsters.
Listen, don't go to a urban pool, because you will see all kinds of swimming going on there. T-shirts, you know.
Well, a lot of people swim with T-shirts. That's like a comfort thing.
Just get the rash guard. Just get the
rash guard.
That's what it's called. It's like the like T-shirt for swimming, basically.
Oh, I didn't know they had that.
Yeah. Just get a rash guard.
Now, what's your view on water shoes?
Water shoes are fine.
Those are okay.
But they like
cover the feet.
Yeah, they like cover the feet, full Crocs type of deal. You know. But yeah.
We're going
so to get yourself a 1920s.
We're not even on the planet anymore. We've gone off the rails, down the mountain, ran over the Japanese bear.
You give it a second, we could have brought it back. You never know, man.
3D printed socks.
What are some 3D printed socks? Oh, and listen, I am working on some 3D printed like stitchable stuff. So not socks, but that would be pretty cool. I should make a 3D printable sock. That would be pretty awesome.
I've always wanted to 3D print. Have you guys seen the sock maker, the 3D printed like knitter?
Yeah, the knitter,
like the sock, the hat. I don't knit or do any of that, but I've seen one of those done at my local makerspace. And I've always wanted to do one just to like do it and say that I could make my own beanies with a 3D printed beanie maker. Just never have. It's a lot of parts, like a ton of parts.
You said knitter, and my mom was like immediately like,
a knitter.
Yeah. I was like, knitter, please.
Oh, jeez, I'm crow. It's always something.
It's always something.
I can't even say the word. I can't even say the word brown in any context. Any context. It doesn't matter what it is. If I say the word brown, she's like, what? Like what? I'm like, geez, I'm crow.
This might become a new thing, you guys. Saturdays might be the way to go.
At least once a month, maybe.
At least once a month.
Yeah, at least.
Nothing beats the time at 3D printer though. At 3D Printopia though, when I said, "The heck did I say?"
Shoot.
I was talking to someone and I said the word colored, and you friggin' looked at me, and I was like, "Don't even go there."
You were talking to Steve, Bills, and Krusty. And I was like, really, Corey?
Yeah.
Broke out
people around had no idea what the hell the inside joke was.
Damn it. Like, what the hell?
Steve asked, what do you prefer to print? And you was like, you was like, oh, I usually like print like blacks and whites or something like that, and like Steve usually prints colored stuff, and I was like, really?
Yeah, that's what it was, and I was like, God, like I stepped into that one, and I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. Matt was dying. Like,
it was hilarious.
Dying, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm never gonna
listen. I don't make everything a race issue, but
when it's like that, it's funny. It was funny. Yeah.
I want people to be like,
and
oh, totally you can't make any jokes around Steve.
Totally untrue and out of context. I need to get that set. Like we were talking about filament and prints. Don't wink. I saw that.
I try to do it when you look away.
Don't. Yeah. I can see that, and I can't wink, so it offends me more.
I'll do it on the side.
I have like winking envy because I can't wink. I'm not gonna try, so don't ask me. You've seen me try actually, and you mentioned it. You were like, "God damn!" Like, yeah.
All right, we can start wrapping it up. This was fun though.
Yeah, thanks for
everybody coming by.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Let me see if I dropped the link. You guys should check out if you haven't already. That's not it. If you haven't already, Liz and Zombie did an interview with David Tobin about the whole 3D printing law stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure to check that out. And
Most important topic in 3D printing right now. So.
Yeah, it is seriously very important. Yeah. Especially if you live in those areas affected by it, you should definitely stay on top of what's happening. Because we don't want Bambu in our business. We definitely don't want the government in our 3D printing business. And I, like you said, I think they realize, like it's easy to say, let's make this a law. Like, how do we enforce it? And a lot of places are starting to realize, like, we can't really enforce this. It looked good on paper, but it's going to cost us billions.
And you really have to thank the people in California, primarily David and Joel, because it's easy for us to talk about it. Yeah. It's not easy for us to put on a suit and go sit in a law, a government building and talk to a pile of these uninformed lawmakers. Yeah, and not just talk to them, change their mind, right? Or show them what.
That's the thing is that they're uninformed. Guts. They don't understand. Sure, there are people out there printing out firearm parts, of course, but the majority of people are printing dragons, flexi owls, or whatever, and
that's the thing. It's like it's a few bad apples spoil a bunch, right? You got one. And I'm not saying people that print firearm parts thing are bad apples, but you've got 1% affecting the other 99%, and it's just
they're raising the flag based off of crimes that have been committed with those things, and and assuming that person was in the 3D printing and did this. Like, no, that person may have purchased the 3D printer so that they can do this, but it's a totally different. You're trying to punish. That's like saying like, oh, people are doing drive-bys. We got to regulate cars so that you can't carry,
And most of this is elected officials trying to use this as a sounding board or a flag prior to some election, right? Of some sounding board that's going to hit a lot of people, of uninformed people, to say, oh my God, that person's doing something that is we're passionate about, even though they're uninformed and they don't know, and it's unfortunate that elected officials will use that type of misinformation to seek votes, but it's just a fact. So it's amazing that they were able to get that overturned.
That's a good point.
Dismantled.
You mentioned laws that make 2D printers not print money. Like people do it all the time. It's not enforced.
No. So, but like I said, and to have them get it essentially dismantled is really cool. So kudos to them. I respect the hell out of what they did. So
yeah. I'm just trying to find a target.
So for you Twitch people, hold on while we
you said that kind of racist.
YouTube. I'm freaking done,
check
man.
Out for you Twitch people.
Nothing.
Hey, also, if you're not watching already, Lee Murray and Kayla, I think they're finishing up their Prusa, more than likely. Cool. So make sure to jump over. I had the link in my in my.
So
Serve on
Save.
YouTube today.
But if you're Twitter or Kick or Twit or YouTube, thank you for joining us. You don't have to hang out for the Twitch.
We'll figure out how to get Corey to raid on.
You gotta do it all preemptively, and it's too much thought.
Don't forget, check out the Unspooled Discord, everybody.
Yes.
You think this is fun? Try it with a group of 9 other people.
Whew.
Right.
So yeah, I will say the Unspooled Discord is very active with some really cool people. Like one of the most active in terms of live voice chat of a lot of the 3D printing Discords. So if you like that, if you have the time and you like to sit in a live Discord and talk, live with people, it's a great place to be. So similar to like the Polymaker Discord, very similar. A lot of them have some things. So swinging, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, we're probably gonna just raid in the maker deck. I was hoping that Lee and Keela were on on Twitch. I don't see them, so we're gonna raid in the maker deck. Right. Once again, we appreciate you guys. We will be back on Wednesday. Unless something else happens, but we'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah. No, we'll be back.
So you're gonna get us twice in a couple days.
Yeah.
We're sorry. Like Corey said, we're always around. A lot of times we're in a Discord. If you ever want to pop in, feel free to hop in and hang out. Sometimes we're gaming, sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're just sitting there staring at each other or whatever. But yeah, come in, hang out, have fun, and we appreciate you guys.
No, thanks,
we
guys.
do. All right. Peace out, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Yep.